Monies, so much, yeah, boing, boing. Money Soapbox is brought to you by the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast. However, Money Soapbox does not necessarily represent the views of the Bros Before Elbows Pro Wrestling Podcast. So, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Money Soapbox. I'm your host, Hollywood T. Monies, checking in with you now live. There will not be a show this week, guys. I'm sorry to break your little ears, hearts. We got to give the people what they want, but you got to leave them hanging. That's the art of creative expressionism, which is a word I just made up. But what's going on, guys? Happy to be back. Keeping your ears listening and keeping you wanting more. Just going into a little soapbox action. Really just coming in here just to talk, man. You know, a lot of things happening. We have the superstar shakeup, and you know, I feel like that's show worthy because it seems as though it didn't really do anything. But I think we had some big moves. I mean, you got AJ Styles coming over to Monday Night Raw, and you got the big dog, the man, Roman Reigns, going to SmackDown Live. You also have the breaking up of the Riot Squad as Liv Morgan has moved over to the Blue brand. You have the Intercontinental title and the United States Championship once again switching brands. I think they switched brands. Yeah, because The Miz took IC title over the Raw, and then they took it back over. So now it's back on SmackDown Live with Finn Balor. What else happened? I mean, Bayley's now on SmackDown Live, and I'm thinking that Raw might have got shafted, right? I mean, so Raw, Braun Strowman, I think, is on SmackDown Live. Raw gets Samoa Joe. They get AJ Styles. You have the Universal Champion Seth Rollins. But I mean, this is big, right? The big news of Roman Reigns going over to SmackDown Live being the biggest. That's the biggest switch. That's something that me and my bros talked about a couple years ago, and I think we touched on it. And it never happened, but now it's happened. This is big. Roman's no longer chasing the big red belt. He's back on the hunt for the WWE gold. And then also whoever stayed on their respective brands, right? I mean, Kevin Owens still a member of SmackDown Live. Drew McIntyre still on Monday Night Raw. I mean, there's a lot of things that will happen out of this, I believe. We're already back on the beginning. This would be like if you were going coast to coast, road to WrestleMania across the country, with these jumps, right? It looks like, I don't know where Sami Zayn is. I don't know where Ricochet and Aleister Black are. I know that Sanity is no longer a faction, so look for that to be big for Eric Young. Buddy Murphy jumps from the Cruiserweight division to, I forget what brand, but now he's a heavyweight, or he's fighting with the big dogs. I'm not saying there's any discredit to the Cruiserweights. I just don't watch the show. There's just so much I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I should have come with notes. I can't stop the video because if I stop it, it'll stop recording for me to look at who else has done what. But I just want to reiterate the jumps, right? Usos are now on Monday Night Raw. They have a shot at the WWE Raw Tag titles for the first time ever in the history. You know they'll get their hands on those pretty soon. I think maybe Sheamus and Cesaro could have broken up. I'm not really sure as far as what happened there. They didn't really do too many splitting of tag teams. They did, like I said, split up the Riot Squad. Obviously, the Boston Hug connection is done. A quick soapbox on that. So I got to get into this because we're not talking about this, and we might not even bring this up whenever we do have another show, because I'll probably forget. It just depends on how long out we are from a new show, which won't be long, guys. We won't keep you listening. We won't keep those ears hurting for too long. We got Money in the Bank coming up. Big deal. But Sasha Banks and Bayley, right? Throwing a temper tantrum, supposedly, but then not. And then now, you know, Sasha Banks may leave the WWE. That's crazy. Like, and they've given her time off to decide if she wants to stay or go. But if she goes, they don't let her out of the contract. She has to sit at home, plus the clause. So it's not like she turns up in AEW tomorrow. I believe. Oh, look, I'm watching NWO. It's supposed to be NWO theme music in the background. I'm looking at Hollywood Hogan right now. Kurt Hennig was just on screen. R.I.P. Mr. Perfect. Carrying that illustrious United States World Heavyweight Championship from WCW. Bring back the old title belt design, WWE. Bring it back, man. This new design is really ugly. That old belt with the big gold eagle and kind of like a flag, the United States Championship, which had so much prestige, daddy. I'm talking about the likes of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm talking about the likes of a man called Sting. Man, god damn it, I'm talking about the likes of Ravishing Rick Rude, daddy. And maybe Double A on Edson, but I can't remember if he ever held the United States gold, because he was the longest reigning television champion. As you can see, I'm just going off on rants with Dusty Rhodes impersonations. I am sorry. I'm trying to keep you guys listening. It's my soapbox, and it's getting up there in minutes. I think that the overall consensus is that this shakeup didn't do much, but Elias is on SmackDown Live, okay, and he is high up there. I'm pretty sure they're still high on him. Andrade Cien Almas pinned the Intercontinental Champion, who then left and went to SmackDown Live the next night. That's big for him in the mid-card, right? That puts him right in the top of qualifying for the U.S. title, which, if I'm not mistaken, Samoa Joe's bringing over to Monday Night Raw. He was just a little under the weather. But I got off kilter. I was talking about Banks and Bayley. Excuse me. It looks as though Bayley has wised up, and Bayley is going to go ahead and take her licks and go to SmackDown Live and become... Well, I don't know what happens now. Like, if you fight Becky Lynch, do you fight for both titles? One title? Are we unifying these titles? It says they're going to unify them, but they've made no announcements yet. But I just think it's really weak on Sasha Banks' part to throw this temper tantrum. Like, I don't understand these wrestlers nowadays. Like... Now, it's probably because of technology and the fact that the fourth wall is completely broken. And that's not to say that these things did not happen back in the day. We've heard many a tale of Shawn Michaels being difficult. Well, not difficult, but kind of, not a crybaby, but a pain in the ass, right? A lot of the guys were pains in the asses. You got bullying and so on and so forth that goes on in an environment I would love to be in, because I'm so full of myself and I'd probably be a bully and I'd be one of those funny effing wrestlers, man. Off camera and on camera, whatever character they called for me to be. WWE signed me, Paul Levesque. I know you're listening. I can bring you the ratings, man. Picture it. Hollywood T-Monies. WWE Universal Champion of the world. Of the universe? I don't know. The point is, Sasha Banks, I think you're being a little bit of a crybaby right now. You've had multiple WWE Women's Raw Women's Championship runs. You were the NXT Women's Champion, first ever Women's Tag Team Champions of the world. And you're mad because you give it up to the youngins coming up in the game, and it's like, you guys aren't even that young. You've been in on the main roster now for like 3, 4, 5 years, and you're mad because you're dropping the titles. Well, you fight for the right to get another title opportunity, because nowadays we don't just give you title matches. You don't get rematches anymore. You earn them. If you couldn't keep the belts the night that you were supposed to, you weren't meant to win them. Now, that's a little kayfabe-ish of me. It's not shoot-ish. And, obviously, Sasha has a valid point to whine, but it's like, you're throwing temper tantrums. That's not professional. And the Iconics are hot right now. You give them a title run for a while, and then you win them back off of them. Or push for Raw Women's and SmackDown Live Women's Tag Titles. I don't know. You big crybaby. God, you crybaby. You're like Scott Tenorman, always crying. I'm trying to remember any other big things. I mean, the biggest thing, like I said, Roman Reigns is now on SmackDown Live. AJ Styles is now on Monday Night Raw. You're talking about two people that could be future WWE World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Universal Champion respectively. AJ Styles v Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I could see that. I could buy that. Or AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre for the Universal Championship down the road. The possibilities are endless. One other thing I want to touch on in this impromptu soapbox is the state of many a character in the WWE. And this week, I'm choosing to look at Kevin Owens. Now, this is the face Kevin Owens, who is now gone from the pop-up powerbomb to the Stone Cold Stunner. as his finishing move, maybe to save whatever's ailing him, the knees or throwing people up over your head 365 days a year will take its toll on your body. Hashtag wrestling is real for all you haters out there. This character has supposedly been described as someone supposed to drink a lot of beer, be like your typical apparently dumb American, or not dumb, but not dumb American. That's the wrong terms. I forget, but you know, the beer drinking, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Then none of these people are dumb. Let me take dumb, strike that from the books. It's like typical blue collar American who just 9 to 5. That's it. 9 to 5. I work at the damn city dump. That's the character, but it works. But it's not the character, and it's almost like, how long will you see this Kevin Owens before he turns on the New Day? I mean, because now he's the big O, and I'm just like, this is a comedy shtick. You're talking about a man who came into the WWE and within a month was the NXT champion, pinned John Cena. That probably took a little longer than that, but then also was just a aggressive, almost like this bigger guy could be the new game. Like, he was sadistic, pop-up power bombs, apron bombs, putting people on the shelf, and now he's Big O. I have a lot of problems with this. It pisses me off that you would take a character like Kevin Steen and you would turn him into this, and he's now your Kevin Owens. And this is the problem with the WWE, is that they take these guys and he's had this push. He's been a US champion, he's been an Intercontinental champion, he's been the Universal champion. But it's like now he's the comedy act. But he's a great act. I just think that you could be doing more with the heel Kevin Owens. Sick, sadistic, apron bomb here, apron bomb there. But we'll see, you know. The War Raiders are now the Viking Experience. They've changed their names. I can get behind it no matter what because of their entrance music and the fact that that big dude is disgustingly agile. So it's like, I'm with it all. We're looking forward to see what they do. Hopefully the tag divisions can bounce back. We have seen the breakup of glorious Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Chad Gable is now back on SmackDown Live, and Bobby Roode, I believe, is staying on Monday Night Raw. So there you go. They've given up on that experiment, thank God. And you got to wait and see what they're gonna do now with Chad Gable, because remember, he was like the shadow puppet of Roode, right? He adopted his entire outfit. It's like he's like this mooch. So what happens? Does he tag team up with someone else now? Does he finally get his own gimmick? I mean, what are you gonna do, Chad Gable? Like, yeah, you can wrestle, man, but it's more to wrestling than being able to wrestle for real. Like, I need to see a character, you know. That's all I got for my soapbox. Like, I'm sure more things will come to me, but it's totally cool. By the time we record again, we can talk about it. I'm super excited for the shakeup. I actually am. I'm thinking of the fact that Finn Balor's on SmackDown Live. I'm thinking of the fact Roman Reigns is on SmackDown Live. I'm thinking of the fact that Bayley's on SmackDown Live now. I'm thinking of the fact AJ Styles on Raw, McIntyre on Raw, Buddy Murphy. We're going to see more of this guy, and he is exciting, man. I don't watch 205 Live, but I watch a lot of the cruiserweight matches on a lot of the pre-shows from a lot. I'm lying. I've watched one or two cruiserweight. I've just watched Buddy Murphy. He's phenomenal in the ring, and I'm excited to see what he does, man, up there. And if it's SmackDown Live, Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy for the WWE Championship or Intercontinental title. Triple threat match with Finn Balor. Book me, Paul. So I'm going to sign off, and hopefully this all loads and wakes up and gets 5 million views and we become viral. This is Hollywood T Money signing off. You guys stay thirsty. R.I.P. to Nipsey, man. One thing I'll say about that is put the guns down, and also, you know, it hurts. And it's sad, and it's something that can happen to anyone, any day of the week, any time. You know, don't take life for granted. I'm very passionate about this passing. I connect a lot with artists, and it's not on a personal level because it can't be. I'm not famous, but it resonates with me a lot in my soul. So it's like, I haven't really spoken on this, but I'm gonna take the time right here on the soapbox for y'all to know that, it's more to life than what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? So don't take it for granted, and just get out there and do whatever it is that you feel called to do, and it won't go unnoticed. Nipsey was, I call him Nip like he fam, because but he's not, obviously. I'm not using this as a plug. I feel like it's finally time to say something. Put the guns down and just understand, people, that these things happen every day. Like, this ain't news. This ain't news to a lot of people back in LA. I'm not from LA at all. I mean, I'm from Arizona, but I know about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes down. So hatred, envy, jealousy, get that out your heart, man. It's no place for it. Thanks for listening to the Soapbox, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hollywood T Money's out.